Hi, this is Dr. Katina, and for this part of the video tutorial, we're going over the second tab, Study Design and Population, and I'm using my paper over here that we've gone over a little bit already, and some of this might be repeat, fast forward, if you don't need any of that information. So this is one of our articles that we're reviewing. So the first question, was the study design an experimental study design? Was an intervention tested and compared versus observed? And my answer is yes, not only from the abstract, but a lot of this is going to be found in the methods section. So it's clear that they randomized into two groups, and one group was an exercise, performed a specific exercise protocol. It was a high intensity interval training program, and then the other one was identified usual care. So that is an experimental study design. So if yes, and let me know. If you choose no, there will be other options that come up for reviews, systematic reviews, observational reviews. Other study designs will come up if you say no. So if you say yes, then you pick what type. I'm going to say randomized controlled trial here, or RCT, although they're saying it's a randomized clinical trial. So that's why I did write randomized clinical trial. For those of us that may be doing data analysis, any extra information is not going to hurt. So was there a control group? Again, and I'm glad there was a pop-up here. These are to be useful tips, definitions, added information to help support the paper forms that you have. A lot of that information is in the form itself in the form of these pop-ups. So was there a control group? In looking through the methods here, they did randomize, and then they randomized into usual care or the prehabilitation group. So I'm going to say yes, there was a control group and that the condition was usual care. One of the options here is active, and there's been some questions on what do we mean by an active control group. And what that means is that it's the control group or the usual standard of care that's provided for whatever treatment we're talking about. A lot of times there's a gold standard treatment that we do for, say, rotator cuff repairs or other types of examples. And then an active control group would be where you're using that usual standard of care, but then that group is getting additional components as well. They may be getting walking or nutrition or something on top of the usual standard. And then they are also then comparing it to the new intervention that we want to see if it is an improved intervention and gives greater outcomes as well. So that's what active is. And then if there's other, you can put in that there as well. And then again, if your study design doesn't match any of these options, you can also put it here. So I could have put that it was a randomized clinical trial. I could have put that here. So the primary aim, and these pop-ups are showing up again as well to help anyone who needs a little refresher on what these different categories mean. So they did say effectiveness, but they also talked about whether or not it's safe. So they are looking at some feasible components. Their conclusion at the end was that it was feasible and safe, I believe, is feasible in deconditioned patients. Therefore, I put effectiveness, but then I also put other, and I put in here that it is safe and feasible for improving. That was sort of their final conclusion, but just to say that they were looking at some feasibility and safety components in here as well. And I think that's why they did look at adherence, and I think that that's also probably a part of why they did that as well. So if the study was focused on a type of cancer, this was a very specific type of lung cancer. I think it's HLLC. but it was a lung cancer. If it was an additional type, you can put, if it's more than one here, you can, I think, select all that apply. It's allowing you to select more than one if you need to. And then if it's not there, again, you can put it here. And then when you add more, I mean, if there was breast, cancer in there, add, you can put another one, and so on. So we want to save, and then it does send you a link. I don't know if we're going to hear it sent to me. And then we would move on to the next section. Thank you very much.